Hello and welcome to Demon Interviews, episode 155. I'm your host, Springy, and joining us today is our very special guest.
Hi, I'm Robin, or you can call me Rose Magpie.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Robin, for being here. I highly appreciate it.
No worries, anytime.
Well, first of all, how are you doing this fine, technically evening where you're at?
Yeah, not too bad, not too bad. Weather's a bit crap, but that's just England, isn't it?
Makes sense. Makes sense. Um, have you ever been interviewed like this before?
Once or twice, but nothing ever, nothing too fancy. The last time I think was when I was a guest judge on Cosplay Arabia.
Ooh.
And it was my first time hosting a con, and it was all done online. And they gave me a mini interview beforehand, and I had no idea what to say the entire time.
That's completely understandable, and hopefully this will be more fun and less formal, which is what we try to aim for. Um,
Always more fun.
yeah, always more fun. That used to be a rule that I said, but now I just keep on forgetting to say it. And we're happy to introduce you to this side of the world of interviewing. Infographic I never put. Um, so people can guess from the lovely picture we're using for your face right now, and from past guests, and if they are fans of yours already, they know that you are a cosplayer.
I am.
Do you have any other new cosplays planned to do that you're able to tell us about without me giving you a small fee of £5 or equivalent to $5 in, yeah.
Well, I have a costume I'm working on right now, but I've talked about it once or twice in my Instagram stories. I'm currently working on the new costume that Deku will be wearing in the third My Hero Academia movie. And I'm working on making it so that it will light up with LEDs as well, which is my first time properly installing LEDs into a costume. So I'm really excited, and I really hope I don't electrocute myself.
Oh, oh, that sounds awesome. I'm excited to see it.
Me too, if it works.
Yeah, I feel you there. I literally tore apart a lightsaber to put into a
Oh my
cosplay,
gosh.
and I feel you there on the will it work or will it explode?
Only one way to find out.
Only exactly. Um, so so I'm trying to make sure I'm reading these correctly because I have them right there. That's why I'm looking off to the side.
It's
Uh,
alright.
Here, maybe I should put it on the other side. Then it looks like I'm looking at your picture. Um, okay. Uh, would you rather eat Cheetos or go on a hike?
um, I'm guessing Cheetos are what we have as Wotsits in England. I would much rather eat crisps or
Yeah,
chips because America.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah, they're
It's
like
alright.
the cheese. They're like
Little
a
cheesy
cheese cheesy
kind of puff
crunch
crisp.
puff sometimes a crispy little thing. Yeah, exactly. My questions do not go over for does not account
It's
for.
alright. I watch enough American TV, so I think I'll be alright.
Okay, let's hope there isn't anything else like that. Hopefully, um, without any more confusion. Uh, so next up is going to be. I'm just double checking something, make sure I don't say it wrong, because knowing me, I will. Um, Let me make sure this is what I think it is. Yes, so on the interwebs, you go by Rose Magpie. Why'd you
Correct.
why'd you choose that name?
Um, well, my mother always called me a magpie as a child because anytime there was anything shiny, I would either collect it or, like, if it was a store or something, I would be pressed up against the glass just staring at it for however long it took her to finish her shop.
Mm-hmm.
So she'd always refer to me as a magpie. And then the other one was I grew up watching a lot of things like American Dragon, and there is a female ninja in that called Rose, and at the time I was like, I want to be her, and then I grew up and realized, nope, you're just a bit gay, and I just kind of was like, let's stick the two together. That works.
Well then, that that's awesome. Um, so next up is going to be what is the hardest thing about getting into one of your cosplays?
In what way?
Any way you wish to say.
Um, in general, with my cosplays, I'd say the hardest thing is quite often the makeup, unless it's one that I'm used to doing like Hawks, because I went through a period where I was doing him every single week for about 2 years.
Mm.
So his makeup just comes naturally to me now. But a lot of the times, if I'm doing a new character and I'm doing the makeup, I will spend ages putting on the base, and then I will mess up in some way because I'm not very good at getting things symmetrical, or I don't understand how contouring works. I don't know how people make their nose look smaller. So it's a lot of things like that I find the hardest. And other than that, it would just be if I have something in that's got lots of armor parts, it's just figuring out what order to put them in so that I can still move to put the rest of it on.
I feel you there on the armor. I'm new at that A making and B wearing armor. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah,
um,
it's hard. It's hard.
oh, it is. So now I have to say the stereotypical YouTube thing of don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon. If you have any questions for our lovely guest here,
Hello.
the lovely photograph here, uh, put them in the comment section below, and if they're appropriate, we'll ask them
Yeah.
your questions. And
Mm-hmm.
don't forget to follow them on all the social media platforms. There'll be a way to get to all of them in the description below.
Yeah.
Nailed Nailed it. Okay, I'm always shocked whenever I'm able to say it fast like that and not mess because I usually like swap the words description and comment section. And it's like put your
Oh,
put your
I
questions
fumble my
in.
words all the time. So
It's fun.
relatable.
It's fun. It's so much fun. Um, so now the next question is coming from a past guest. It's kind of he'll also have another one after this, and it's just a whole thing. Um, from a Mr. Zoom underscore 2028. Bacon question mark.
Just bacon.
That's it.
I,
That's
I like my bacon crispy. I, from my understanding, American bacon is a little bit different to British bacon in the fact that you guys have like strips of it that have loads of
mm,
fat.
yep.
I'm not a big fan of the fat in bacon, which is why I like my bacon crispy, so that the fat is edible to me. The texture of undercooked fat just makes me gag a little. But in England, our bacon rashers are like an oval chunk of just the pork and then a little line of fat around the outside. So I like it, but I've never tried American bacon strips. I do know I like the British bacon though.
Yeah. I, well then, I didn't know that Britain had different type a different kind of bacon. I knew Canada did, or like a different meaning of
Maybe I'm
bacon.
getting it wrong. I have an
I
awful
don't know.
memory, but from what I've seen, you guys have like these little strips that are like wiggly. We
Yeah,
don't have that here, or if we do, I've not eaten it.
just I mean, technically, you could also cook our bacon to be crispy as well. Just
I probably would because
yeah,
it would crisp up the fat.
yeah, exactly. I mean, more power to it. Um, more power to the bacon.
Yes.
And that makes sense. Because, next up is going to be coming from the same past guest. Peanut butter question mark.
I do not like peanut butter. No, I've only ever had it once. It's not really something we eat often in England. We do sell it, but I didn't even know that I liked nuts until I was older, because I was always hearing about people with nut allergies. And even though I'd had nuts before, I was like, but what if I have an allergy? So I refused to eat them. And then I was one day eating chocolate with nuts in it when I realized, oh. And then I at one point tried peanut butter, but I was like, no, this is not for me. It's too. I don't know the word, but it's kind of like lip smacky, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't like that kind of stickiness to it.
I, completely understandable. That's completely understandable. Um, I mean, you already passed the American test of bacon, so I mean, we can let the peanut butter slide. Um, so have first of all, have you gone to any cons before?
I have, yes. I started going to cons when I was, I want to say 17, 18. And then I went to the two main the main cons in England are London MCM, and that's held in May and in October.
Mm-hmm.
And I began to go to those twice a year, every year until my son was born. I did go when I was incredibly heavily pregnant, but I didn't go after I'd had him because he was still very, very baby, and I did not want to leave him or take him to a con.
Understandable. Understandable. Um, do you know how many cons you've gone to, or if it's easier, how many different cons have you gone to?
um, I wouldn't begin to know how many because, like I said, I've got my main one, which is London MCM,
Mm-hmm.
but I did end up doing some work for a company that took me to loads of different cons,
Hmm.
um, all in the southwest of England, and I God knows how many those are. But I've primarily stuck to the same ones. I've tried um, London Film and Comic Con, or it was like a film and Comic Con somewhere, London MCM,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's some that I did with this one business that I can't remember of. And then I did go to, I'm not sure if I can say what I refer to it as because it's not an appropriate word.
Hey, you can
Um,
say whatever you want to say. I mean, I'm not gonna stop you.
okay, so I went to a con that everyone within the community calls NonceCon now. Um, it's run by a company called Anime League, who is leader, should we say, is known for grooming children, which we did not know at the time, and he still holds cons to this day. And they're all ones that they'll say a location and then it'll say anime and gaming con, and there is a lot of shady stuff that goes in there, mainly to do with minors, but also stealing from charities and all sorts like that. And honestly, it was one of the worst cons I've ever been to.
Hmm.
So wouldn't have gone again just because it was boring. But now it's kind of like, yeah, I'm never going to go to that again. I don't want to give them any money.
I mean, that's completely understandable. I mean, I wouldn't want to go. Um, next up is going to be is there any conventions that you're hoping to attend to in the safe future?
Yeah, I really, really want to try and go to KatsuCon. Originally, I was planning to try and make it in February 2022,
Mm.
but I'm disabled, and the government decided that I wasn't disabled anymore so that they could stop my money. And in doing that meant that I no longer had liberty funds as well. Like my disability payments were covering all of my bills, and then any money that I got from Patreon, and that was for spending on cosplay. And
Yeah.
now the Patreon money has to go on my bills to cover the lack of disability payments. So I'm currently in a case about that and applied to a court case for it today. But yeah, we've got, so we had to cancel KatsuCon 2022, but I'm hopefully, if we can get everything sorted, going to be going to KatsuCon February in 2023. Fingers crossed, which would be my first states con.
Awesome. I've heard a few good things about that con, so
Yeah, a lot of
good
my
first.
mutuals are going to it, so it'd be nice to meet some of the online friends.
Ah, yeah. Um, my list moved weirdly. Um, next thing is going to be who is your biggest cosplay inspiration or inspirations if you have multiple?
Oh, I do have a few. I love Akrikos, Inspector Lemon, Bucket Brown, and of course Sakura Fleur as well, because that's my wife right there.
Yeah, makes sense. Um, Next up is coming from a fan on Instagram, a Charlie underscore Aronson 99. Hopefully they still are. That'd be real bad if they weren't. That'd be kind of sad. Um, what is one thing you regret doing on in like photo shoot or camera or what or any sort of public recording of events from cosplay experiences?
That I regret doing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it'd be really hard to think of one. Um, Mainly because of my bad memory, but also because I don't think there is anything. I'd probably say the only thing would be I just tend to run my mouth a lot. I tend to speak before I think quite a lot of the times, and there's been times, I say times multiple. There was a time at a con where I was just casually chatting to someone that was in cosplay. They looked a similar age to me, and I was just chatting with them. I can't even remember what I was chatting to them about, but then I found out they were 14 years old, because they mentioned something about their mum confiscating their phone or something, and I was like, that's a bit weird. So I was like, hey, just for clarification, how old are you? And this was about 3 years ago now, and they're like, oh, I'm 14, and I was like, oh crap, and I'd forgotten everything that I'd said to them, but I was like, I really hope that I'd said nothing inappropriate. That was so I hopefully haven't. I can't think I would have done, but you never know. And
Let's hope there's
cons
nothing
now,
to
I'm like
regret.
constantly aware of ages. I'm like, everyone is younger than you. You are approaching 30. Start noticing people's ages.
And just so you know, I'm 20, so we're fine.
Okay,
It's
that's
we're
helpful.
good.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. Uh, I don't think I even started the show when I was a minor. Maybe I did, barely. I don't know. Doesn't matter now. Um, wherever it was, it doesn't matter now. Um, oh, sorry, the cat's trying to get out.
Aw.
Accidentally locked the cat in the room, so I did not have cats in the room. Ironically. Uh, so next up is going to be what is one thing you want people to know about the characters that you cosplay as?
Ooh. Um. Ooh. I don't know because I cosplay such a range. Um. I guess just that I cosplay the characters who I think would be the most fun or who have the most intricate designs. My favorite ones and comfort characters that I regularly go back to are usually ones that I feel quite close to, either the way I've built them up in my head from how I've perceived them in the show or game,
Mm-hmm.
or just from the fact that I wear them all the bloody time. Hawks, who's a bit of both. Yeah, I guess I would just say, just remember that I'm a cosplayer. I am a person underneath it. I am not the character that I am cosplaying. So just be respectful as
Mm-hmm.
well, because I have a lot of people that will talk to me as the character, and a lot of the times they're minors, and it's really inappropriate. And
Mm-hmm.
it makes me very uncomfortable. Like if I'm role playing, that's one thing, but just make sure that you're saying things that are appropriate for your age and the age difference. And there is still going to be a line there that you should not cross, even if, and I will, if I am in a role playing live, for example, I will just like go out of character for a moment and be like, hey, that's not appropriate to say, and then just go back to it. But yeah, that's
Yeah,
probably it, I'd say.
yeah, that makes complete sense. You always need to draw a line somewhere.
Oh,
100%.
definitely.
100%. Uh, that's why I don't go by my real name on the internet. Uh,
Safest thing to do.
exactly. That's a fun story, actually. But the next question is going to be, have you ever created any cosplays because a friend or a fan or someone around you suggested it to you?
Oh, think so. Um, Usually if I'm going to do it, it's something that's already been in the back of my mind already. Like if it's a Hawks AU, for example, I've had
Mm-hmm.
people suggest AUs to me before, and usually they're already on the list, but it just pushes it further up the list knowing that someone wants me to do it. As for general ones, I think I have. I think when I started doing Hawks a lot, people really started wanting me to do Colonel Sanders because of Fan and Hawks really liking KFC and all that. So I did do a Colonel Sanders cosplay, but I made him sexy because I thought that would be really funny. So I made him like the dating sim, Colonel Sanders, which was just top tier memery.
Oh lord. I forgot that was a thing. I'm not gonna lie. I know like there was like somewhere like telenovela thing of it on Netflix or somewhere. I don't remember where it was.
Oh god.
That was a whole different thing. Oh my lord. Um. So next up is the content that gets the most attention the one that you enjoyed making the most, or is it the ones that surprise you?
um Quite often the ones that I put the most effort into are the ones that don't do as well as the ones that took me literally 15 seconds to do. So for example, there is a lot of Hawks TikToks that I've put about an hour into making everything for it and doing all the different shots or, doing different costumes over different days
Mm-hmm.
that will just flop really hard. And then there'll be one where I literally do one take, I just walk in and I literally, pun intended, wing it. Um,
Meh.
and then people will love it and it'll just blow up. And I'm like, I don't understand how algorithms work. But I try not to dwell on it. It's more a case of I'm going to make content that I enjoy, and if other
Yeah.
people enjoy it too, then that's a bonus.
Yeah. That makes complete sense to me. Like I did a
Mm,
video where like somebody was caught like I was duetting somebody who did uh Bill Cipher from Gravity Falls, and
yeah.
they're doing the audio of like which puppet would you like, and I was being the marionette who also goes by
Hmm.
Puppet from Five Nights at Freddy's, and I was holding a few different
Yeah.
masks, and I was like, and like that one blew up, and I was like, why? I did this for a horrible pun.
Yeah, it's always the ones you don't expect.
Yeah, it's like neat. I didn't know I could do this. Uh oh man. So who's your favorite character to cosplay as?
Oh, that one's changed recently.
Ooh.
Obviously it used to be Hawks. He's been a big hyperfixation of mine for about 3 years now. But my hyperfixation is slowly starting to pull away. Like I still enjoy being him, but I'm not as obsessed as I was.
Mm-hmm.
It's has moved into more of my original character, Angel and Robin,
Hmm.
from the storyline Being at Che United that me and Socorifla do on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
But honestly, I think it's Bennett from Genshin Impact. I found out that I'm his canon height, so we're both the same size. I can do his voice. I didn't think I could, but apparently people love hearing me do an impression of him. And I just love how I look as him. So I am really pumped to finally take him to a con. And the fact I made
Ooh.
like most of it myself as well really means a lot more than just having bought it. I mean, I buy a lot of my costumes, but it
Yeah.
just hits different.
Yeah. I completely understand that. 100%. Um
I realize you can't see me nodding. I need to stop just silently nodding.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Don't worry about it. So um this is going to be the last question of the list, and then shocking,
Yeah.
there's more. Uh, who from TikTok, Instagram, so on and so forth, would you like to do an IRL collaboration with? Let that be with videos or photo shoots or whatever you wish to do with them in that whatever amount of time you wish to do it with them for.
So many people. Oh my gosh. Literally all of my mutuals. I love them all. I'm planning to do some collaborations with Penix. I think that's how you pronounce the name. We're planning on doing some Genshin Impact crossover videos together, but they live the other end of the country, so it's a bit of a trek. I'm
Yeah,
planning on doing some haiku and some BNH United stuff with Moorish, who does the lovely civilian Ina from BNH United. Um, and I want to work with Cullyfax. a lot because we want to both go and get KFC together in our Hawks cosplays. We think that would be top tier memery. And just pretty, like I said, pretty much all of my mutuals at any point, if they would just were like, "Hi, I'm in England," I'm like, "Where? I'm on my way." I would
Where?
be straight there.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, so now I can actually turn off my phone so it doesn't try to explode. Horrible joke. Uh, but now we're gonna go on to the final four questions.
Okay.
Uh, First of all, do you have any questions for me as an individual, eh, or about the show in general?
How long have you been doing it? You
The
said it was
show,
like 155 episodes or something. Yeah.
um, as when this comes out, it'll be closer to 3 years because I think this comes out
Oh,
mid-November.
yeah.
We started in January, so we're almost at our 3 year mark. So we've been doing it for that long. Um,
Congrats.
yeah, thank you. It's been fun, and I swear I'm not like I don't have like multiple personalities. There are other people I work with on this sometimes, so it's like we are Venom, like all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to ask?
I'm not good with questions.
Oh, you're fine. You're completely fine. You've asked more than some people do, so you're good. Um, so now we're going to the final three. I won't say that every single time. Um, would you ever like to come back to the show in the future?
As long as I've got time, I'm more than
Yeah,
welcome. More than happy to.
awesome, awesome. Um, Next up is going to be um, who would you like to see on the show in the future?
Hmm. I don't know. I hate open-ended questions. I wouldn't know. Maybe some well-known artists within the community.
Ooh,
That could always be interesting because I feel like fan art is overlooked a lot in comparison to cosplay because a lot of it gets stolen and just reposted and that, and it's a lot harder to prove that you drew it than it
yeah,
is to prove that it's your own face.
yeah,
So I think that could be a really interesting interview if you
yeah.
found some fan artists that would be willing to have an interview.
Awesome, awesome. I gave you a broad question. You gave me one back. Uh, we actually, I think, hopefully, I'll have to double check with them, but I think we have a fan artist who's gonna be on the show soon, who actually like worked on
Ooh.
some stuff, so that's gonna be fun. I need to ask more now. Um, but the final question for today or tonight, I guess, is going to be, do you have any questions for a future guest?
Ooh. Is that what the previous question was for me?
Yeah.
um Without picking the obvious answer of cat or dog, what would your favorite pet animal be?
Ooh, favorite pet
If the answer
animal.
is not rabbit, it's wrong. Um,
I'll add that in there too. I'll make sure it's like in like like in parentheses.
Bunnies
There
are
we go.
superior.
Exactly.
I'm just biased.
Hey, more power to it. More power to it. Um, but yeah, that is about it. So
Jolly good.
thank you, Robin, so much for being here. I highly
Thank you for
appreciate it.
having me.
Of course, thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule. Um, Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to do all the stereotypical YouTube things and to follow our lovely guests on all the social media platforms.
Thank
Uh,
you.
and at least I will see you in next video. Bye bye.
Bye.